Okay, hey YouTube, it's NFMonk on Cool Carl's channel, and I'm going to be talking about prophecies. There was a lot of showings at the YCS, but I really want to talk to you about how I think they should be played and what you should really be using if you're going to play them to get your winning image. That's a Vanguard reference, but I'm going to use it for Yu-Gi-Oh! Non-prophecy cards, Breaker, Trag, and Veiler. Veiler, he's just an amazing hand trap overall, but with the use of Spellbook of Life, he can become multiple levels of a tuner, like 2, 3, 4, and 5 even. And combo, especially with Trag, I mean, they both level modulate huge in this deck, so you can always make these Xyz plays and Synchro plays, and the combos with Veiler is just ridiculous. Trag, I feel that Spellbooks are usually the deck that like hold their hand and slowly gain advantage until they're ready to explode everything on the field. So Trag is that good card that while you're gaining advantage, you'll have a lot of cards in your hand, and Trag can just be a wall and something to beat your opponent down with. So either they're weak enough or they use too many resources to take out Trag and won't be able to deal with your big important plays. And he's also good. Level modulation again. 7, if you got High Priestess, make Big Eye. It's just, if you're using a deck that gains a lot of advantage, I think Trag is a definite card you should be using. Breaker, like I said, he's a big setup card like Trag. You normal summon him, you either bait out a warning, or you summon him and you get to pop something, or you summon him and they chain a trap and you can either Spellbook of Wisdom to make him unaffected and then hit another card maybe. He's such a good card. And he's base 19 with the spell counter, so if you need to crash into a Trag, or not a Trag, my bad, Thunder King, you can. And even if you do use the spell counter, you can always use Spellbook of Power to make him 26 and get over it. So the 3 non-prophecy cards, but they're definitely needed and they help in the winning image of the deck. Spellbook Magician, level 2, you search for your spellbook, get it easier for you either to drop that High Priestess from your hand, or get the cards that you need to activate either Temperance or Justice effect to special the High Priestess, or search for the High Priestess, thinking your deck out, getting you card advantage, so they think they're safe until they attack this and you drop a Trag with 3000 attack because you just +1'd and you have 6 cards in hand. Very good card. Also great because you can make Effect Veil level 2 when you use Spellbook of Life. Justice, the +1, you play Spellbook, and then you banish her and search for a Spellbook and High Priestess. +1. I mean, what else is there to say? 69 attack, she's nothing to snuff at. I mean, she can definitely get over some cards. And again, with Spellbook of Power, triggers effect, Spellbook of Wisdom triggers effect, Secrets, Life does, and so does Eternity. And Spellbook Tower too. So everything is going to trigger her effect to get you pluses. And I think the best cards, of course, are this and this, because this will search you card, and if this attack goes through, you'll search a card. So you'll get the card you search with these two, and then you'll get a Spellbook and a High Priestess. So you only need one more Spellbook to drop her from your hand, which could either draw into or get with your Magician. So definitely an easy High Priestess most of the time. Temperance, I'm really on the fence about this card, because it's the restriction that you can't special summon any level 5 or higher monsters that turn user effect. And like I said, I feel like this deck is a conservative, then explosive. So she's not that good, but in the conservative spot, from a conservative point of view, she can be, because you activate the Spellbook of Secrets and then summon the Temperance, and then you get that High Priestess on the field, and if she doesn't get Bottomless, miraculously, or you play Spellbook of Wisdom, you can hold that Priestess on the field, and then when she does go to the grave and you are ready to summon either another High Priestess, you can always Spellbook of Life her and set up for future plays. So this may look like an offensive piece, but it can also be a great conservative thing just to get your High Priestess out and make them waste cards on this, but you really are setting up with cards like Justice and later. So High Priestess can be used to pave the way for her sisters, because she's part of a triplets. Secrets, there's not much to talk about. It's just a card you definitely need to run in 3, to thin your deck and get the cards you need to combo. Eternity, with secrets, it's easy to run a 1-of like this. Same thing with Tower. I don't have one, unfortunately. But it's just one of those 1-ofs you can run. And it's great because it fills up the grave for High Priestess. And, you know, you banish spellbooks with High Priestess, so you banish this, and then you don't have anything for High Priestess next turn, but you can play this, get in the grave, and then you get a search. So, Spellbook Eternity is just the 1-of that you can easily search and play and get a plus. I think it's a good card. Well, not really a plus, but if you can use High Priestess effect again, it can be a plus. Wisdom, the reason I don't run MSTs, there's just so many spells, and if you're clogging your whole deck up with spells, you're just asking to get Shock Mastered. And so you need room for your traps, which is why I just run this and no MSTs. And Breaker. He's good for destroying spells, I've heard, and traps. Power, it gives you the boost to deal with all those troublesome cards like Thunder King and Shockmaster. If they declare monsters effects like High Priestess or something, I don't know. It's just, I think it's just so good, but then again, like I said, you don't need to run 3, you just need 2 because Spellbook Secrets. I mean, you don't want to draw into all these spellbooks and not have any High Priestesses or monsters to use them with, right? And then Life, like I said earlier, great combos with Effect Veiler. Great combos with Temperance even. I mean, if they're warning your Temperance, you can just play this, get her back, and then tribute for High Priestess. And it also, for when you fill up your grave for High Priestess, you can use this to get her back. And your Veiler plays, but I think I already said that. So, those are the cards that are big mentions, not including staples and traps. A lot of the traps is personal preference, but like I said, I feel that the traps you are running should be conservative, that make your opponent either 1-for-1s that are just good cards in general, or that slow your opponent down to your speed, because you need to slow your opponent down, because a lot of the decks can't keep up with a lot of the decks. Unless you got the Veiler against the Georgias or Windups, unless you got the Trag against the Mermaid Atlanteans, it just can't keep up. So you really need cards that'll bring your opponent down to your speed, and then when you're ready to kick into high gear, you can, because you've already baited out all their good defensive cards with your breakers and your breakers and your trags and your hand traps and your traps. So those prophecies, I hope you learned something and gave you a new perspective on how to play.